What is up, guys? I do hope you're well. My name is Mark and today we're covering some more r/am I the butthole. If you'd like to skip the initial waffle, timestamps are in the description and along the timeline below, but if you are new here, please consider hitting that like, that subscribe, and maybe, just maybe, that notification bell too. Yesterday over on Patreon we had a new member, Florence Akatani. I do hope I got your surname right there. Thank you so much for joining us. It really does mean the world. And if you'd like to join too, you can join us over on Patreon or through YouTube membership. Either way, I really appreciate it. And just everyone for taking the time out of your day to watch these videos and to interact, like, and all that sort of good stuff. It really does mean the world to me. So thank you so much for that. And with that being said, let's get in to today's stories. Much love, guys. Our first story comes from Sailor's Moon 20. Am I the arsehole for telling my roommate that the name she chose for her baby is ridiculously stupid? My roommate, 24 female, is a big Game of Thrones fan. She's pregnant with her first child right now. She decided to name her baby Arya. When she asked my opinion of this name, I said it was a good name with good meaning. Arya means noble in Sanskrit. But a lot of people have named their kids Arya, Khaleesi, Sansa because of the popularity of Game of Thrones, and it might be a little too common. Not that it's a bad thing. The next day, which was yesterday, she said she's found a way to name her baby Arya and not have it be associated with any other Aryas running around or the show. How? She said she wanted to spell it as Aurelia. I did a double take reading that word too, but apparently people are supposed to read it as Aurea or Arya. She asked me how I felt about it. I told her that frankly, Arya looks ridiculously stupid and she should just go with Arya. She got kind of upset and said that she and her partner came up with this only because I told them the name is very common. I said that having a common name is better than having a confusing name. Am I the arsehole? Now, if you're on the podcast or you're not looking at the screen, she wanted to spell it in a different way. So the normal spelling is Arya and she wanted to spell it Aughryah. So yeah, you can see, and I'm not sure if I pronounced the name right. I watched all the Game of Thrones and I can't remember if it's just Arya or Arya. I don't know how I said it during this story, but forgive me if I totally butchered it. So yeah, there is that. No, and I think if you're going to try and be completely different and you want it to be unique, do it. You know, don't do that. Don't spell it like that. Not only is that ridiculously hard to spell, it looks stupid too. So let's have a look at the comments straight away with I threw it away saying, ask her, Arya being stupid. I'll be here all night. You just saying, not the arsehole. You should not give your kid a name that looks like it could be a Welsh town. Beats by Dwight Schrute says, normally you'd be the arsehole, but A, that's a stupid name, and B, she asked your opinion. Not the arsehole. And I am Skank Hunt says, not the arsehole. That poor child will have to spell a name for everyone and correct people mispronouncing it. Now, what do you think about this story? Bit of a ridiculous one to start off with, but I thought, why the hell not, right? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to vote on that poll in the description for story 1. And our next story is from Am I the Arsehole 50%? Am I the arsehole for telling my husband I'll go back to work if he doesn't give me 50% of his earnings? I'm currently a stay-at-home mum. I never wanted to be one, but when I had my kid, it broke my heart when I could barely spend time with her due to my work. I wanted at least one parent to be with her while she grows up. He wanted the same too, so I decided to quit my job. I have some savings I could manage for a while. He told me he'd support us as well. I was earning thrice as much as him, and our lifestyle would take a temporary hit, but we wouldn't be in trouble. When we were both working, we mostly split the chores 50-50, but now it became 100 me and 0 him. I was taking care of the baby, the house, groceries, taxes, walking the dog, cleaning and watering, maintenance, etc. I was beyond exhausted. I asked him for help occasionally and he made a big show of doing it. Said I'm not going to work anyway, so I should be doing all of this by myself with no help from him. I agree that I should be doing a lot, but not everything. He would act like he was a benevolent god if he washed one dish, and it was getting on my nerves. He wanted me to cook what he wanted whenever he wanted. Learn to cook new things for him when he felt like it, to do his laundry and clean up after him constantly, which pissed me off. I also realised I was still paying for most of the household expenses from my savings, and he was barely contributing anything. So I told him that he's treating me like trash, like a living maid, and I can't take being ignored and expected to serve him constantly. He told me this is what a stay-at-home mum should do. So I told him that unless he gives me 50% of his salary for household expenses and baby expenses and contributes at home at least 25%, I will go back to work. He threw a huge fit about it, and I called up my old job, who had been dying to have me back, and set up an interview. A formality, honestly. They will take me back with no questions asked. He's sulking, saying I should be at home with a baby. I'd rather continue to earn and come home to a baby than act as his butler. Am I the arsehole? I really don't know. Now, you know, we always have these kind of stories about who does the most housework. They come up a lot on Am I the Arsehole? It's always the way, and there's always divided opinions on these ones, so I always find them quite interesting. You get the odd comments saying, oh yeah, being a stay-at-home mum is hardly anything and it's easy work, and then you get the other side which is saying, look, it's a full-time job. Looking what she said, which I agree with, I think it's a full-time job doing that. So I don't think they should be doing everything. I think chores should still be split somewhat, and the husband should definitely be giving some money to her, you know, because this is what was agreed to at the start, and he's the only one earning. So at the minute, and we always talk about this as well, that it becomes financial abuse, that he's holding the money over her, even though she's still using her expenses to pay for everything. It's ridiculous. So I can't say you're the arsehole in this story, in my opinion. But that is just my opinion, so I'd like to hear yours below. But let's go to the comments first. Just Around Town says, not the arsehole, go back to work. He's awful. You'll need your income for the divorce, and sadly you end up paying him alimony because you make so much more. North Shield Maiden says, not the arsehole. Why isn't he a stay-at-home father if you earn so much more than him? You're not just his free living maid, you actually pay for it. It makes absolutely zero sense. And then OP commented on this saying, he told me he enjoys doing his job and will get depressed if he left it. I did suggest it to him, but he suggested his mental health will be affected, so I agreed to quit instead. Funk Activity says, not the arsehole, but, and quotes, I will be paying most of the household expenses from my savings, and he was barely contributing anything. And then it says, seems like your marriage has zero financial planning. He's obviously an arse, but this is also on you for letting it get this far. This is a conversation that needed to happen before the kid. Well, before the wedding preferably. So now I turn it to you guys. What do you guys think of this story? Who do you think's in the right in this situation? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to vote on that poll in the description for story 2. And our next story is from OK Dinner 990. Am I the arsehole for refusing to take in my biological child and sending him to foster care? When I was in college, I got pregnant with my now husband's child. We weren't ready for a child, so we gave him up for adoption at birth to a lovely older couple that seemed like an older version of us. We kept it as an open adoption and not embarrassed about it. Fast forward 3 years and we had graduated college and we're about to get married. The adopted parents informed us that he had just been diagnosed with autism. We had them at the wedding and everything seemed fine. Maybe he was delayed, but nothing serious. The adopted parents started to pull away from us after we got married. Visits and letters were decreased by their choice. 3 years after that, my husband and I had a child of our own, and my husband got in an accident that gave him severe brain damage. My husband went from being an engineer to having a mental age of an 8 to 9 year old. He isn't able to remember things well and cannot work. While he can use the bathroom on his own and physically do his own hygiene, he needs to be reminded. In many ways, he's my second child. He can't be on disability unless we're divorced, which would cause more problems than it would solve, insurance, power of attorney, etc. So I am the sole supporter of the household. The adoptive mother reached out this year and is begging for help. The adoptive father died of a heart attack and she's scared that she will die and her son will be all alone. Nobody in the adoptive extended family will take him because of his extensive needs. His autism is apparently very severe. He can't speak or use the bathroom and mostly communicates by screaming. He has very expensive medications and therapies. He really needs a stay-at-home parent because he is often sent home from school early. I in no way can take this kid in. I'm already essentially a single parent to 2 kids. I have no time or money to pile this kid's needs on top. I have to work long hours and can't risk my job with constant absences. I declined and now she's constantly sobbing to me about how everyone rejects her son and when she dies he'll be thrown out like garbage because even his birth mother doesn't want him. I really can't do it. Am I the arsehole? Edit, it's been 8 years since the accident. The kid is now 14. Oh my word. It's one of those awful ones where I can't personally bring myself to say anyone's an arsehole in this situation, you know. It seems like an unfortunate set of circumstances that's happened. And I totally understand that OP can't take any extra people in the house just because what she's already dealing with, you know. she's already trying to work and she's trying to support her disabled husband. Apologies if I got any of the wrong terminology there. I'm not sure if it's called disabled with brain damage or what, so please forgive me if I got that wrong. And then on the other side, the adoptive family is also having their own issues too. I don't think it was right for the adoptive mother to say, like, at the very end there, his birth mother doesn't even want him, because I imagine if circumstances were different, things might have changed, right? But, you know, they got their own issues too. And maybe it can be advised that there must be some sort of support for the adoptive family for this kid if she was to pass away. The kid isn't just going to be homeless, surely. Social services or something might be able to advise on these lines. That's what would happen in the UK anyway. I'm not sure about the US. But yeah, let's have a look at the comments below to see what they say. Apartment Locksmith 1 says, "Oh honey, you're in no way the arsehole in this situation. You've been dealt a really rough hand and you're doing everything you can with the resources you have. Perhaps advise the adoptive mother to reach out to social services to discuss future plans for her son. It sounds like a specialised facility might best meet his future needs, knowing you'll visit him in a specialist unit in future years. Might give her a little comfort. Stay strong, sending you good vibes and virtual hugs, if you want them." Wham Hallis says, "Not the arsehole. Also, is his mother sick or just having those I can go at any moment phrase due to the heart attack? You always chose once that you cannot take on that child. That is why you put him for adoption to begin with. Even if the reasoning is different now, you cannot take on that child and it isn't fair of her, his mother, to ask you to." Pale Natural says, "No one's the arsehole here. You're not doing it out of malice, but you simply can't provide the care he needs. It sounds like you still care about your son, but he needs to be somewhere that can actually help him. The adoptive mother is understandably scared for her son and just wants him to be taken care of." And that was kind of my views on that situation as well, you know. I can't see anyone being the arsehole in this situation, and I hope they do find some sort of help that they really need, you know. But what do you guys think of this situation? What could they do to help out the son? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to vote on that poll in the description for story 3. And our next story is from Topic Winter. "Am I the arsehole for laughing at my sister when she asked me to invest in her cringe Etsy business? My sister is almost 30, still lives at home and doesn't have a real job. She wants to become a successful Etsy couture home decor artist. Basically, she wants to buy made in China junk, decorate it and sell it at 900% markup. I told her Pier 1 already beat her to it and they're going out of business. Faced with the reality she was going to have to get a real job, she reinvented her business as a social justice home decor art. The junk, picture frames, vases, candles, wine bottles, baskets, cheer pets and pet fashion and gnomes she wants to sell is going to be designed with rainbow flags, images of diversity, etc. She thinks her art will fly off the shelves, but has no money to invest. My parents lied and said they're broke, so she hit me up. She told me she needed roughly $20,000 to start and needed it quickly. That made me laugh. I told her I'd burn $20,000, then invest in her shitty art." Now, instantly, I'm going to have to say you're the arsehole just for the ending there, that you're laughing and you're just saying her art is shitty and you'd rather burn the money than give it to her. Not that I'm saying you should invest in it, you know, because it doesn't sound like a well thought out business. It sounds like a rush effort to try, yes, I need to get this done now kind of thing. And, you know, you always have to have a business plan of some sort in place, which you may do, I don't know. But to simply piss on someone's dream just because you don't think it's worthy of it is, it's just not great, you know. You could have said, "Oh, I'm really sorry, I can't give you that money, but maybe we could look into other ways, or maybe we could help you come up with a business plan to make it better. Maybe you could support them in some other way." You know, don't dash people's dreams just because you don't think it's going to work. You can try to help them in a way that it might work. But let's have a look at the comments below to see what they say. The Dread Pirate Jeff says, "You're the arsehole for how you handled that. Yeah, I also think it won't go as she thinks it will, but you were a total arsehole in your response. You could have evenly and coolly and helpfully explained your view to her, but instead you dumped your derision on her." Wader Man says, "You're the arsehole the way the story is told. I agree with your decision not to invest, but why be so harsh? You could have come up with 100 reasons that you can't spare any cash, or told her in a much kinder way that you don't think it's a good business venture. The way you did it, you sound like you ranted and you simply wanted to hurt her. If you're trying to encourage her to leave home and get a real job, there are other ways to deal with that. And in any event, you did not state that this was your intention." Astroman129 says, "Yes, you're the arsehole. You can just refuse and leave it at that, but instead of being an arse about it. Edit, I didn't even know they were still making cheer pets." Exercises Medicine says, "Not the arsehole. As much as I believe in supporting family, your sister is being delusional." Some good comments there, I think. But in my opinion, the first initial comments were totally right. There's a way you deal with things like that. You may think this is the worst business idea, but you can approach it in a different way, or you can even maybe try to help her to maybe better the business or come up with a better way of doing things. People do make successes on Etsy as much as they do on YouTube and things like that. It is very hard to do so, but it is possible. And I personally don't think this sounds like the greatest business idea, but I would have sit down and I would have explained, look, I don't think it's a good idea because of these reasons. If you can come up with a business plan that looks more viable, then maybe, but not under the circumstances of this post. But the way he approached it was just not on, in my opinion. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and don't forget to vote on that poll in the description for story 4. And our next story is from a throwaway account. Am I the arsehole for refusing to let my girlfriend back in my apartment after she caused me to miss my biopharmaceutics exam? I, 23 male, am currently studying pharmacology, and it's incredibly difficult without the unbelievable stress with the upcoming exams, with little time to prepare. I work from 4 PM till 10 PM to be able to pay for rent and college expenses, and I'm finding it very hard to keep up and focus on studying. My girlfriend, 22 female, moved in with me 2 months ago to help me with a few things like cooking and stuff. I've been studying like crazy lately and I have no time to go out. I'm torn between work and college, and my girlfriend has been complaining about me being dedicated and focusing on my exams. I made it very clear that this is a critical point in my life and I've put off any plans for later. She told me that she felt that she was being ignored and alone most of the time, even though I told her it was only temporary, but she doesn't seem to get it. She once came to me asking if I can prescribe her a drug for a friend, and I told her no, because that's a big responsibility and I'm not qualified to do that, but she said since I'm studying pharmacology that I should know about drugs and dosages, etc. She tried this multiple times, but I was firm and told her to drop it. 2 days ago, while I was working, my girlfriend called to ask if we could go out and eat, but I told her that I needed to go home and study for my exam the next day since I was struggling with time. She tried to convince me that I had time, but I told her no. She told me that she won't cook dinner then. I said that was okay, that I would order food. I got home, she argued with me. I had to stay in the kitchen to focus on studying since she refused to leave me alone. At 2 AM, I went to bed tired. I told her to wake me at 6:30 AM. My sleep is heavy and alarm clocks don't work often. I woke up on my own the next day at 8:30 AM. I freaked out. I knew it was over when it took me another 15 minutes to get ready. My girlfriend told me to my face that she did it deliberately because I said no to going out and wish I missed my exam. I didn't have time to argue. I caught a taxi to try and save time. I got screwed. The professor didn't let me in. I begged and got sent to administrator's office, and I was berated for being reckless and ended up being accounted for the alternate exam in 2 weeks. I felt horrible. I yelled at my girlfriend and kicked her out for what she did. She tried to apologise, but clearly she doesn't care about my future and if it gets ruined, and won't stop texting me to let her back in. Quick edit to mention that I'm from Asia. My girlfriend does not go to college, she babysits 3 days a week, but doesn't bother to pay for bills because I don't pressure her to do that. I was pretty much with OP for most of the post, you know. Someone trying to focus, as I said, it's a critical point in their life and they need to get their exams done, and they said this is what they need to focus on right now, which I think is fair enough, you know. I can imagine that being really stressful if that's something you want to do in your life and you've got the exams coming up for it. However, there was 2 points that I really didn't like in the post. Is the one where you said your girlfriend, 22 female, moved in with me 2 months ago to help me with a few things like cooking and stuff, you know, and that's fair enough, but she's not a maid. It's like that line itself sounds like she's purely going to be moving in to be a maid, you know, which doesn't sound quite right. It doesn't sit right with me. Might be wrong there, but you know, not happy with that. And then there's, you told your girlfriend to wake you up because alarm clocks don't work and not much wakes you up. Dude, this is life. As you said, this is a critical point in your life. When you go and get a real job, they're going to be expecting you there on time. You can't ask your girlfriend to get you up every day. It's just not going to work out that way. So you need to sort your shit out. So that went from a not the arsehole to an everyone sucks here, just because of those 2 points I mentioned. So I'm going to move down to the comments below to see what they say. Timothy says, not the arsehole, but dude, and quotes the alarm clock stuff. Fix your shit. You just can't rely on other people to wake you all the time. Boxspring says, everyone sucks here. It is ridiculous that you relied on someone else to be your alarm clock. It's no one else's fault you missed your exam but yours. You cannot blame your girlfriend or anyone that you did not take basic responsibility for your own life. You are not a little kiddie. Your girlfriend is not your mum. Everyone sucks here, but a soft, everyone sucks. Learn from this. Things like your exams will never be as important to other people as they are to you. And Princess Rogue 123 says, I mean, it sounds like you want the best of both worlds. You expect your girlfriend to take care of you and wake you up at 6:30, while offering her no emotional support or doing any typical boyfriend things. You don't have a lot of time, which is fine, but it doesn't sound like you value her at all. No one doesn't have a few hours a week to make their partner feel special. Also, what is up with men not knowing about alarms? Like, I don't care how much I trust someone, if I absolutely have to be somewhere, I am setting my alarm. My boyfriend expects this of me and gets so irrationally angry when I occasionally forget. You're the arsehole for that. It's no one's fault but your own that you missed your exam. Now I turn it to you guys. What do you guys think of this story? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to vote on that poll in the description. Once again guys, thank you for being here today. I hope you do enjoy these stories. Let me know in the comments below if you do, and I will of course keep them coming. Thank you guys, take care, much love.